Hey Crown Content Publications followers, viewers, and supporters, thank you for clicking on my video, tuning in with me again to see what it is I have to say today. Of course, we're publishing and marketing meet, and if you like to learn more about our services to assist authors and freelancers, entrepreneurs, and students just like you every day, visit my website www.contentcrownpublications.com, where going into the summer you will see weekly updates. We even started a newsletter here recently because you homeschooling parents that may decide to join our team in the near future, you'll want to keep up with those weekly newsletters, okay? It'll be so helpful, okay? This will look like constant updates on resources that could help you as a homeschool parent, or even resources when it comes to your utilities and things, because of course it's hard to homeschool a child without a home, right? So we understand that at Crown Publishing Content, and a part of our mission is doing our part in society, in the community, to make sure that the kids have all the support that they can possibly get. And when I say kids, I don't just mean K through 12, y'all. Like, it's a lot of young people graduating this year. It's May 5th, 2022 as we speak, right? We know this is usually the month where you see proms and graduations, and a lot of these kids that are graduating this year, these are facts in case anybody needed to be reminded, they are going into college next year. So this might look like them deciding, regardless of how much of a scholarship they just got, how good their grades were this year, this might look like them considering maybe the first year, right, of virtual classes, okay? Because colleges do offer that. For some of you parents, I mean, the norm used to be, man, they're finna go into that dorm room and get out the nest. You know, things changed when the pandemic came, but still, our number one goal and vision for the young people, for our kids, should look like having resources available and options available for them to strive for their education, no matter what's going on, okay? So I am here to kind of like defend and advocate and be kind of like the mouthpiece for the homeschool, not the whole homeschool community, because y'all been out there doing it long before some of us even thought about it, okay? And I know people, you know, I've known people along, I've been blessed to know people along my journey as a mother who gave me the insight, gave me kind of like the insight look of what doing that, not only why they chose to do it, but what the process of actually doing it looked like. And yes, even just like we're having public school changes and updates constantly, it's the same thing when it comes to homeschooling laws and updates, what's acceptable, what's not. Y'all know these things look different in every state, right? My number one announcement is, don't worry, followers, viewers, and supporters. You guys will get the first-hand update once we have these newsletters. Like, I've already started the newsletter platform, but it would look like me wanting all of my clients to have this information, because a lot of us, we got kids. It is what it is. Just to have this information, or if you need information, me being willing to send you more information about what that's going to look like in your state, okay? So yes, that's for the newsletters, and that was the point of those. Poetry contests we're going to be having, reading programs for the kids, okay? And I'm not saying you don't have enough for them to do at home already, but sometimes it just motivates a child to want to read more, to want to, get involved, especially when there's like prizes involved, or, recognition, participation gifts involved. So yeah, we definitely want to keep them encouraged when it comes to the skills of reading and writing at Crown Publishing Content. Also, you're going to want to check the website weekly going into the summer. Once again, today's date marks May 5th, 2022. So that means the summer is borderline, okay? So you may have activities. Some of y'all are going to let the kids go out to camps and however y'all do that. But a lot of us are still kind of reluctant because, just because the surge of COVID has looked like it's died down a little bit, we just don't want to take chances. So we're going to find creative ways for the kids to have fun right at home or right in our local communities, okay? And then we'll have resources in the newsletter, like updates like that, like, hey, fun stuff for your kids to do in the summer, or clubs, because a lot of clubs are opening back up, summer camp, stuff like that. So I am happy for the parents out there. I'm a parent. I know that all of us are thrilled, especially homeschool parents. Our kids might not get as much social interaction with other kids in general with the pandemic and homeschool going on. Now, me, my opinion, I don't feel like it's a bad, let me preach this real quick. Y'all know influence definitely, we call it social media influence, right? But influence has always definitely affected the mind of our children. They call it peer pressure. So a lot of parents are already admitting that they see a change in their child's whole makeup and behavior since they begin to homeschool them, right? And I try to tell them maybe it's the less influence, right? So that's level number one. Now your kid is not always self-conscious about what they got on, how much they know more than the other 20, or don't know more than the 18 other students in the class. They're not always having to think socially. They now are at home. They're being encouraged by mom. They can go at the pace that they need to by dad. They can even learn on different levels. Like I say, it's kids out here learning 3-4 languages, y'all. I'm not telling you what to do, but this is what homeschooling could look like for your child. And that's why we talk about curriculum planning. That's why we talk about when we preach knowing what you want, and the sooner you do in life, the sooner you can kind of prevent those roadblocks like unwedded children or ending up a single parent, stuff like that, y'all, because this is still needed, these kind of talks in the community of young people today. So, it's just less influence. So that's level number one. Then when you cut out certain type of movies, certain type of cartoons, cut out screen time or lessen the level of screen time you're letting these kids have, that's even less social interaction. So there's pros and cons to social interaction. And my reason of bringing that up is because like the summer is when all of us want to kind of let the kids have some type of, not just freedom, but like interaction. Go to the movies, go to Six Flags, get out, go to camps and stuff like that. But I just encourage the homeschool parents to remember, you work hard to keep your kids on the level that they're on, because see, just because, and that's one thing, like some states respect homeschooling more than others. I've noticed, like you got a lot of people that still live in the stigma that because their child is homeschooled, they're less advanced, or like their parents shouldn't be respected or taken serious, and neither should their child. We're finna talk about some things though, y'all, because homeschooling is serious business. But when it comes to that social interaction, you're gonna have to study your child and know your child too, or know yourself as a parent. Like, have I noticed that less social outside influence on my child is more positive for my child? Yeah, because if they end up getting used to being homeschooled 5-6 years, they just won't be the type of person y'all might think that's shielding them and trying to hide them for the world. You can still teach them from the inside of home what danger is, what crime is, things to look out for in the outside world before they even get to living on their own out there, right? You can still do those type of things at home. There are also virtual therapists, virtual counselors. Y'all know how there's a counselor when your child is in public school. Well, you still have these type of resources, especially if you guys have Medicaid and stuff like that. Even if you don't, maybe the insurance coverage that you do have, ask those type of questions like, what if I just want to have a therapist, check on my child from time to time, because that's important too. But this is not that type of segment, just mental health checks. I did one segment, but that was more like for adults. But that's going to be important for children too, especially when you're looking at times like these, inflations, pandemic, things they can't understand, right? So if you saw the title of this video, it was pretty much titled, homeschool planning, curriculum, discussion topic. Because even though we're going into the summer, fall will be right back here. It'll be right back here. It'll meet us right around the corner as fast as this year been going by, And it's a good time for you to ask yourself what is going to be the best option for your child, because a lot of y'all were strained and stressed and really just going through the motions when it came to your child's school year, and only you know what you went through, okay? I'm going to go ahead and shoot this out here. My booking link will be in the comment section if you would like to discuss, have a homeschooling consultation, just kind of discuss what it might look like for you, or learning more about what your options are if you do become a homeschool coach. One of the pros is that now you're gaining experience as a teacher. You might not have 30, 20 kids in your class, but you're definitely gaining that experience as a teacher. And then later down the line, you might find yourself applying for jobs as a virtual tutor or a virtual teacher. Okay, so that don't ever let anybody tell you that's not job experience. Anything you experience in life, guys, is experience. Now, whether an employer wants to accept it or not is on them. But you use your experiences in life the way that's best for you. So yes, guys, I am a mom. I teach my kids these type of things. Like, even if I got you sweeping the floor, learning how to do a chore, you can use this experience somewhere in life. I might just look young and talkative, but my kids, they have to hear the motherly side all the time. Like, oh, she preaching again. But yeah, this is homeschool. Not just parenting you, but educating you on why I choose to parent you the way I do. That's number one. Educating you when it comes to life skills, areas of study like language arts, math, woo. So for those of you that don't understand, yeah, some of us graduated years ago, right? You're like, how am I just going to teach my child subjects that I haven't done since 5th grade? This is what homeschooling consultations with me, Miss Whitney, looks like, or the freelancers on my team, okay? It looks like us talking curriculum plans. You tell me you got a 3rd grader, 5th grader, 7th grader. It's not just you teaching off the top of your head, right? You're going to have a curriculum plan that you're going off of, because just about every 7th grader in this country is pretty much, I ain't going to say they all on the same level of growth, but when it comes to the curriculum, they are expected to know a certain level of math, a certain level of language arts, a certain level of science, right? Because it should look like them taking an end of the year assessment. I guess that we'll talk about that. Number one on my list, testing and assessments and how those are important. If they're important in public schools, guys, if they're important in public colleges and universities, even private ones, why wouldn't testing and assessments be important at home? Once again, this is one of the type of conversations we could have during our virtual consultations. When you book with me, my link will be in the comment section. So it's like, I don't want to say too much because everybody's situation is different, but just kind of giving a well-rounded opinion when it comes to the pros and cons, or the significance of certain levels of education when you are homeschooling. Okay, so we won't just be preaching this, we will also be able to guide you to the resources. Okay, well, how often should I test my child? See, what teachers do, they sit in public school, they study each student. I mean, this is a part of their job. They may have y'all see how they get progress reports before the report card even comes out, but the report card is like that main term grade every 6 weeks, right? So they also will send the parents a progress report, because it's like, look, this is every 3 weeks. This is where your child is in this subject, on the certain curriculum we're on this 6 weeks. So far, at the 3rd week, your child is struggling or your child is doing great. But that progress report is for you. If you are an active parent, usually you get the phone, hey, why my child got a 52 in science? Well, you know what? Let me tell you why she's slacking at homework. You know, that's what that should look like. But when you're homeschooling, you don't have a counselor or a teacher to tell you what's going on with your child, right? I know this seemed like no-brainer stuff, but somebody might have clicked on it to see what I had to say when it comes to what I feel like homeschooling looks like. Not just from my experience, but like I told y'all, the people I've known for years who have already taken this route in life. So if you're a homeschooling parent, there's never anything wrong with not only testing as frequent as you need to, and I advise saving each step of the way, each test result, right? And yes, there are platforms available, like websites that allow you to test depending on what grade they're in, and depending on what you're trying to test, right? But testing them, like me, I would advise the beginning of the year, especially if you sat there and let them have a whole break. Okay, baby, before I even get started into this new grade, because you're homeschooled, let me test you and where you are from last year, where we need to brush you up on from last year's curriculum, before we even introduce you to this, or have them working on it at the same time. But yeah, them tests are going to be very, very helpful. When we say assessments are usually like a bigger deal. It gives you more of an insight on whether they are picking up on material that you guys have been covering, whether they are ready, to move forward. For example, my kids did end of the year assessments about a week ago. They all did pretty good. I'm not here to tell y'all how they did, but what I do like about the platform I use, it lets them retake it up to 3 times. Okay, so I encourage y'all parents, like, don't help them either. Just because they're at home. I had to tell one of my little daughters, like, I'm not going to help you. This is a test. And she got very, very frustrated. But it was like just getting her in the habit. Just like at school, the teacher can't come to your desk and help you with a test. And you don't even know why she's testing you. You don't even know why you have to do it. That should be the same thing at home with your curriculums, okay? Because you can't really test them and see where they are if you're over there helping them, with the answers and stuff like that. So let me throw this in here before I get off of the testing and assessments. It's like in life, though, even as adults, nobody likes to be tested. People tell you in a minute, don't test me, right? People even kind of deny entities and deities like God because they feel like I don't like being tested. And you mean to tell me my faith got to be tested? So I'm just giving these examples. Nobody really likes tests, right? Even to get driver's license, certain certifications license, there are tests that come with it. But I'm just here to encourage you, parents, young people, anybody that might be tuning into my channel real quick. Tests are always the beginning of a new chapter, of a new level, of elevation altogether, especially if you pass it. So I'm not going to say I'm one of the humans that love being tested either, but now that I look at tests, or I'll easily deem something a test in my life, like, you know what, I ain't going to even get mad about this right here. This might just be a test. Who's testing me? I wouldn't even have to know anymore. But if I change my perception about something in life, and I say, you know what, regardless of what test it is, where it come from, I'm either ready for this test or I'm not. Y'all see how they go? Because in education and in school and for certificates and licensing and things like this, you're going to have to be tested before you get that CDL. You're going to have to be tested and pass that state exam before you become a lawyer. You're going to have to pass a whole test before they start letting you do surgical work on somebody's body and deem you a doctor. But I had just noticed that correlation about life. Like, people take tests like nothing for stuff like that, but if they just feel like they're generally being tested in life, they can't handle it. They lose their marbles. They go off, they snapping, they cussing everybody out. Like me, I'm a very calm collective. I do think I'm a great fit for not just what I do for my small businesses, Crown Publishing Content, but going ahead and merging this into a foundation, a nonprofit, to where we are able to help you homeschool parents out there. It's going to take a lot of patience. That was my whole point of just saying, trying to give you another insight of what tests are about, like the word test and what a test is. Why does it matter who's testing you? I mean, it matters because we're human. We overthink things. We like to feel prideful. We like some type of control over our life. But just because you're being tested doesn't mean you have control. If anything, the ball's in your court. Now, can you pass this test? And some of us, yes, we are tested more than the average human being. That's life, ain't it, boy? But then I got another positive aspect or perception or viewpoint for y'all to look at this from. Even if you feel like you're more tested than others in life, you know what I mean? Even if you feel like you're more tested than the average human, you just test it on a daily basis. This person tests you, that person tests you, woo, right? Like I said, it still shouldn't change. Like, if you are ready for those tests, or if you have not just study for their test when it comes to life, but you have the experience that's necessary to stand the test of time through these tests, then just like I said, there is an elevation on the other side. That's why I do feel like, this is kind of off topic, because maybe homeschooling isn't it for everybody. Maybe you are going to have to hire a virtual tutor. Some of y'all was out here stressing. I saw it all on social media. But some of y'all were stressing to the teachers and stuff, boy, when the first time in life all the children had to become virtual students. And that's what y'all was doing while the teacher was the coach. The teacher was the one teaching them. You were just expected to monitor, kind of make sure they do their homework, sit there with them while they get through it. And boy, y'all ran them kids back to school as soon as they said the doors were back open. First it was like, man, my kids ain't going outside, I don't want them to catch COVID. But then you ran them to school. So, and this was before vaccination. Vaccinations came later. That's another topic. My point is, I was paying attention to the state of mind of parents and the state of anxiety, because some were going through more than others or less than others. But it's like, if you couldn't handle doing this with the teachers on the computer with your student, who are you going to be if you are literally ever one day responsible for teaching that child for the next 12 years of their life, for the next 10 years of their life, for the next 8 years of your life, or their life? Do you have that type of patience? Now, you might, when you homeschool, that's what it looks like. Now you are the one in that position to constantly test your child, not in a way like negative, like humans do, but test your child to see where they are. Why do you think people test you in life? Adults? They really got this strong agenda to find out where you are. And see, nobody ever knows what's going to be on a test. Some tests are unexpected, aren't they? Even in school. That's how life is. But I just want to encourage somebody out there, ain't one test in this world. You pass the CDL test, you get your CDL license. Now you living a whole nother life. You pass that bar exam, now you're a lawyer. Now you living a whole nother life. There's always a benefit that comes with tests. I don't care what unnatural entity, being, human try to change that. If somebody passed a test, there's an elevation on the other side. Okay, so boom, I'm off of that when it comes to testing and assessments that parents can expect to be responsible for it, and it actually helps you a lot. It helps you see where your child is. That way, let's say we have a homeschooling consultation, you can already email me like, yeah, either these are the last test results my child had at school, when it came to reading, when it came to math, when it came to science, social studies, these were the last report cards. Still, report cards and testing is two different things, right? You got a lot of kids pass with flying colors, straight A students, y'all, turn around and fail the STAR test you got to take at the end of the year just to move on to the next grade. Have y'all ever seen that before? Yeah, you got straight A students that will sit there and pass all them classes all year long, but they came 2-3 questions short of passing the STAR test to move on to the next grade. To me, that happens because their child was not tested enough. Like, you just assume, or their child just assume, or their parent just assume, my baby ready for that test, she finna pass it. You're talking about a whole year of curriculum that they are expected to remember through a 2-3 day period of testing. And I think they only get 24 hours. Y'all know they let some of them stay after school. I'm talking about the end of the year test. Graduation is still a real thing when you're a homeschool parent, because you want them to feel accomplished. You want them to feel like their hard work at home was not in vain. So a consultation with me might look like ideas for graduation. Like, I'm not saying that anybody is green out there, but in case you're starting from scratch, there are platforms and websites that allow you to put together a certificate. You can get as creative as you want to. You might want to take them to a park. You might even rent out a venue. You might do it at the house. You might do it in your backyard, and you call it your graduation ceremony. Now, for the older kids, it's the same thing, the high schoolers. But graduation could very well look like them just taking their GED, passing that, getting their, because most GED tests, it might charge you something, but they do get their credentials. A lot of colleges will accept your babies today, guys, with that GED, especially if their transcript looks like a homeschool transcript. Does that make sense? Like, you know, you got the proof to back up. You got the testing proof. They can take their SAT from home too, right? These are just the type of options that come with allowing them to do that at home. I was talking to a woman today, y'all. Long story short, like, we just talk as parents. Women in the world, we talk because, like, a lot of guys might not understand. Y'all are more the workers, and y'all don't deal with what we deal with when it comes to just, like, day in, day out. Whether they're in school or they're homeschooled, how active we are, you know what I mean, when it comes to our children's education. But she noticed that her child, you know, he's just over school. And a lot of kids got to that level. The pandemic took a lot out of them, man. Just all the changes and different stuff. And then you got more kids bringing guns to school, more bullying incidents than ever. So there's a lot of things that could have took him there as a teenager. But she's thinking homeschool might be better for him. And she was another one of those that made me think about, with him, it sounds like that social interaction. Like, he might be more focused and he might be better off not being around so many kids every day or whatever. But she was like, no, even when he was a virtual student, he slacked off. He do his work when he feel like it. So that's why I do want to have these consultations available, working out strategies, plans, and things like this with parents that work for them and their child, okay? Virtual tutoring is a thing. We talked about that. Virtual coaching, because you might have a child strong in 5 other subjects, but there's that one subject they struggle in. See, some of y'all moms get child support anyway. You can homeschool that baby, take some of what the dad is contributing, and get that baby a tutor, okay? And for you dads complaining about paying it, this is the type of stuff your child needs sometimes, whether that child is in your custody full time or the mom's. Are you willing to pay that much attention to your child? Because this is what separates the neglectful from the non-neglectful. Okay, you can tell the parents that even when their kids are in public school, I'm sure some teachers can tell y'all, they already experienced it. They got the parents that they respect because those parents are always active. And I'm talking about before COVID, not just popping up. Not that type of active, but that parent is constantly calling, constantly emailing, constantly responding. When the teacher wants to have a conference, when the teacher wants to test, when the teacher thinks they should go to gifted and honors or be decreased in grade because something is not right. They like those type of parents that stay involved. We ain't just talking PTA level. I'm talking about involved with your child's education and what they need, okay? Certifications and licensing, right? We talked about that. I was glad I kind of touched on it. Y'all see me rolling my neck, I guess, still sitting too long, but your child can look at the more you teach them about how, I'm gonna say, like, the pros of studying from home, they might love it so much they're like, look, I'm gonna go to college from home too, Mom. I'm gonna get all my licenses and certifications I need from home, because that's what the new millennium looks like, and this is a real possibility. But that's for your high schoolers, like, just making them understand that, because I think a lot of us, we took certain routes because we felt like we had to do that. But making your child knowledgeable to where they understand what their options are sooner than later, right? For sure, sooner than later. I don't know who that was, just messaged me. Because college is not for everybody, right, y'all? College is not for everybody. That's number one. And then some people, they take one certification and they build a whole business out of it, or they take one license and build a whole business out of it. So are you as a parent willing to invest in other ventures when it comes to your child? Now, on the adult side of things, just reminding you parents out there, this stuff can be done online from home. When you call the Crown Publishing Content Foundation, this could look like equipping you with the tools, resources. What do I mean by tools? Tools might mean supplies. That goes for your K through 12 students too. You're going to need supplies if you're trying to teach that child from home, right? What? Yeah, a seventh grader alone for one subject of science. Do you know how many supplies they asked for at the beginning of the year? Okay, that's science, social studies, maybe a journal, a binder, some map pencils, because they finna be studying maps and world history, right? Okay, math, a graphing calculator. Y'all know how much? If you don't know, those graphing calculators are not cheap. So y'all are probably wondering, well, how are you going to be able to connect me with these type of things? Connecting you with resources to where you should not, especially if you're a low income family, you should not have to pay out of your pocket for. You shouldn't have to do that. Yeah, because you're already trying to pay bills and keep that roof over their head so they can have a home to study from, whether it's virtually with the school or homeschool. Yeah, so we thought we would put together programs and consultations for you guys that you can book with us, where we can have these type of discussions, because that shouldn't be a reason. And some of y'all kids, that is a reason. Even when they were virtually being taught, some of us lacked Wi-Fi boxes, supplies, because you didn't have a way to go to the school to go pick up what your kids needed. Trust me, Crown Publishing Content Foundation already understands. So we can talk in a consultation what it'll look like, if we were to equip you with what you need so that you can homeschool your kids, find out a little more about your situation. And I just felt like this segment was a great time for me to go ahead and market the Crown Publishing Content Foundation and what we're about to be doing for children, okay? We just officially became a nonprofit, guys. That's really big. Y'all don't have to celebrate for me. I drank a wine for the whole family, okay? A little bottle of wine, because that's a big deal. Like, you don't have a lot of platforms out here that, outside of like back to school drives where they'll supply them with school supplies then. And even then, it's not like stuff that they can do school from home with, right? Any little thing helps, but just more foundations or programs that literally do understand what it takes, what you need when you're homeschooling. You might need help with that Wi-Fi bill. You might need help with electricity. You might need help with supplies and tools, okay? And that's all we're trying to do for you guys. Back to the certifications and licensing, just reminding adults, that can be useful for you too, us connecting you with resources. You say, look, I want to get my CPR training license, or I want to go back to school and be a paramedic. Looking at whether these options are available for you virtually, because there might be certain parts of your program where you do have to come to school, because something like a paramedic, I could just imagine. But doing as much as you can from home. We know gas is high, right? Like, does anybody else think like this like me? Even if you're going to college campus, if you don't have a dorm there, it's probably going to get expensive driving there every day. So doing as much as your program as you can do right from home, okay? And I just went over all of them just like that. Credentials, I don't think we got to talk about that, because, you want to study schools. Don't wait till these guys are almost out of high school and you've been homeschooling them for 8 years, right? Like, study courses and things they can take too once they get on high school level. Like, I totally wish mine, I ain't gonna say I'm rushing their growth, but if they were high schoolers right now and me learning everything that's available out here, man, they'll be set. But it's like, different schools accept different credentials, right? I'm in a school right now, y'all, like a whole, I ain't gonna say how many, but I had way more credits. When I say I had way more credits that I transferred to this school with, but they didn't accept all of them, you see? So that's the type of conversations we have too, just kind of reminding parents, like, this not just homeschooling them and giving them the basic classes. I mean, yeah, the basic classes will get them in like 2-year college, what am I trying to call it, undergraduate schools and stuff like this. But what if they're trying to go into a higher degree of program later on? Is that school going to accept the credits that they've been attaining under your homeschool curriculum? Or can I equip you with places they can, platforms they can study and do this online work, and every credit that come with it can definitely be transferred to accredited universities, if that's the direction your child plans to go. And I mean, even a grown-up, like, that's like important. That's something knowledgeable, any of us can use or be reminded. Like, don't go out here and work hard, y'all, and get all these credits somewhere that something you plan on doing in the future is not even going to accept. Not that school, right? So I just want to save other young people from going through that. Now, I'm just a soldier because I almost quit school recently just because of that. Like, you mean to tell me you only going to take half of the credits I brought to this school? That's setting my degree plan back. My whole plans in general, because a lot of us want degrees for different reasons, okay? So, I mean, whether it be for a job, and this job already told us, no, you have to have this, or as long as if we know that you're studying for this, we'll let you go ahead and work here. Like, that's just an example. But some of us have other reasons that we are striving to get these things, okay? So anyways, guys, I just wanted to kind of give an insight on what the Crown Publishing Content Foundation is going to look like, how we will have virtual tutors available, how actually even soon, right on our website, you guys will be able to find K through 12 curriculum and really have a whole online school platform. Like, you have many options because it's like millions of online school platforms out here, but just kind of getting you guys prepared that we will, if not by the fall, definitely, most definitely, probably by the winter of 2023. Not for college students, so I'm upset I can't do that. But as far as for the adults, just more one-on-one entrepreneur training courses and stuff y'all can take right on my website, managerial skills courses and stuff like that. We're headed that direction, okay? Because when it comes to content, like I said, it's a very vast aura of different things that, you know, you can end up putting your hands into. And me, I feel called to help the homeschooling parents, okay? So, boom. Thank you guys for tuning in with me again to see what I had to say. Show your support when you give this video a like and subscribe, because we're going to do more segments on, you know, I ain't going to say the importance, because that's like making it seem like homeschool is more important than public school or something. But I'm going to say the significance of knowing your options as a homeschool parent. When you invest in certain things to teach your child, we can even talk taxes. Okay, because see, that's the business consultation side. Yeah. Some of y'all waiting, you don't even get documents together and prepare all that for your taxes till tax season come around, but that's not really healthy. You know, you need to have a book, log. This is not that type of segment. We've had segments like that, but, you know, kind of have this stuff lined up and stacked up for yourself long before then, or know your options or your, you know, what you're entitled to. Once you begin to pay out of pocket, that's different if Crown Publishing Content ends up helping you with some of these things later. You didn't really pay them out of pocket, but it still might be something we report to the IRS when it comes to our business, of course. But just letting you guys know, keep up with that website weekly, because these resources are going to be available. If you have any open questions, even for now, or you can see yourself working with the Crown Publishing Content Foundation to help homeschool parents, feel free to leave a comment or email me at crowncontentpublications@aol.com. In the meantime, check that website weekly, where I will be doing updates about the summer reading program for K through 12 students and the writing program for 5th through 12th grade students. It'll be not a program, y'all, but a contest. It'll be a writing contest. The topic of the essay that I am calling children to write, the topic is If I Could Change the World, okay? And on my next segment, we'll talk about first, second, third place prizes, what our participants can expect, and I'm hoping to do this every summer just to keep your kids writing, okay? But even as a homeschool parent, you know, make writing fun for them. Tell them you met a lady at Crown Publishing Content that'll publish their book even while they're a child. Now they're beginning to learn the venue of entrepreneurship, or now they just became an author, right? This is what they could look like, you know, make homeschooling fun. So anyways, y'all, thank you for your support. My booking consultation link will be in the comments section. If I look a little dusty and tired, it's because I am. It's been one of those days. Real long. Like, y'all I think I handled it well. I think I'm handling it well. But I thank you guys for your support, and until next time.